Okay, this hook tells us we're going back to the Trojans' plight. Okay, so our subject goes back to our dear friend Aeneas. Okay, then we got this ablative absolute here. Okay, but the 7 goes with this ablative absolute, but it doesn't decline. Remember, you only decline 1, 2, and 3. Latin students can't decline sex. I know. I'm here all day. Okay.
What did you say last week? Oh yeah, to like your Latin 3 students, you said don't make babies as you left.
That's right.
And they talked about it the entire last period.
That's right. Okay, so we got to this place. Aeneas with 7 ships having been collected from the whole number. Okay, so remember he started out with 20 ships, and now he's gone down to 7 ships. Okay, and then subit means like he puts in. Okay, then we got an ablative of manner here. So you're going to say, with great love of the land. Oh, it said subit here means seek shelter. So you could say he seeks shelter instead of he puts in. Okay, so then this next part, the Troas is your subject. Okay, and then there's this like PPP, but it's a deponent verb, so you're going to say having. Well, I should make that not so ghetto looking. Okay, and then look, optata goes with hyrena. Okay, so we got the Trojans having set out gain. Okay, this is one of those puffy verbs, which means it takes the ablative. Okay, so the Trojans having set out gain the hoped for sand like they obtain it. This is a golden line, FYI. Okay, what does that mean? Do you see how like the chiasmus, not the chiasmus, the synchesis goes perfectly with the verb in the middle? I don't know what that is other than pretty.
Is it a officially called a golden line?
Yeah, it's officially called a golden line.
So does it do anything, or is it just a gold?
It's just pretty.
I have a question.
Okay. Okay, and they place their limbs. I wonder if this is an IS for ES. I bet it is. They place their limbs dripping with salt on the shore. Why are their limbs dripping with salt?
Water.
They're waterlogged, right? Because they just went through that big storm. Okay, so what's the first thing you do when you get onto dry land after you've, been sailing on the wet sea in a storm? What? After you kiss the ground. They just did that. What do you do? Heat! Right? You need heat. So guess what they do?
I said eat. He said eat.
Well, before you eat, you gotta get some heat, right? Unless you want to eat dry, whatever. Okay, so we got, and at first, or you could say, first of all, our faithful Achates here. Achates, who was Aeneas' BFF, what does he do? He strikes out a spark with flint. Look at this silicate scintillum. The S's and the L's makes it sound like sizzling. I know. I'm here all day.
Was there one of our pink Aeneid books somewhere on your desk?
I have no idea. No?
Yeah, I can't find mine. I think I left it in here.
What do I say when they use it instead of the S's and the L's make it sound sizzling?
That's what you say.
You could say the S and L get the
What's that called? Is it like onomatopoeia?
Get a sizzling.
Oh, look, I wrote onomatopoeia in my book. Yep, it's onomatopoeia. For those of you who can't spell that at home. Okay, and he catches up a fire in the leaves and okay, you got to go on to dead it on the next line. He gave. Okay, so this is accusative. I'm going to go on to the next page here. Oops. Okay, he gave dry fuels. It's their neuter. He gave dry fuels around. Or you could say he placed dry fuels around. And he snatched a flame in the kindling. Okay, so after you build a flame, then you make some food, right? Okay, then literally this says the men tired of the things, like tired of the situation, of the situations. The expedient. This is in case you were wondering, a genitive of specification. I know you were wondering.
It's probably gonna keep me up all night.
Well, I don't know, because it doesn't really specify anything if it says of the things. It's just telling you what they were tired of.
This was like what the Latin subject test was.
What?
All these random uses for like givers and additives. It was so just writing. I like bombed. I didn't have time to study, so that didn't help either.
Oh.
But it was trash.
Okay, so they prepared. Okay, then these two suckers are metonymy. Okay, what is metonymy? What? Oh yeah, that's synecdoche, right? So it's like something when it stands for something else. So like synecdoche is a type of metonymy, right? Okay.
Like when people call Chicago
Right. Okay, so then those tired of the things prepare. The series stands for what, do you think? How about grain? Okay, their grain having been, what does it look like? Corrupted by the waves. Okay. What does that mean? Their food got wet. It's like when you go canoeing and your food gets wet. It's very unpleasant. Okay, and this is not the cerulean weapons. It's like the utensils that they use to grind. You know how they would bring the grain and then they would have this big like mortar and pestle kind of thing where they make grits out of grain, right? So you're going to say, and I would say the cerulean utensils. Okay. And they, you see this it's both and, right? And they prepare, let's see, maybe I'll say, and they both prepare to roast the rescued grains by the flames and to break it on the rock. Or maybe say to break it. How about say, instead of to break it on a rock, how about we say to grind it with a stone? Alright, so they're going to dry it out. They're going to like roast it. Then they're going to make grits out of it. Or whatever they're making. It's probably not corn. It's probably wheat or something.
I remember my question. Okay, so
The question would be that these two ets, okay, what do they join? Okay? And you would say, or they would give you et torere, et frangere, and say that they are dependent on what? Okay, and you would say what? Yeah, parent, right? Because they're complementary infinitives.
that looks super symmetrical. That last line except for the front.
I know, it's like we're throwing back to Caesar, right? Okay, so we made a fire, right? Now we're pounding grain into meal. Okay,
Did the quiz tomorrow on Google here?
I think it's to 183.
Okay, that's what
Okay, so what's Aeneas doing in the meantime, right? So we got Achates building a fire, making grain. What's Aeneas doing? What's Aeneas the leader doing, right?
hastening.
He's going to kill 7 deer. Spoiler alert. He's going to kill 7 deer.
Hastening.
Okay?
I thought the next word meant hastening, so I was like, I thought it meant like he climbed down some rocks. 'Cause I thought that meant hasten.
I don't, it means climb. Climb, you're close. Okay, so he's going to climb a rock and kill 7 deer, 1 for each ship. Why?
Because he's Aeneas.
Because he's Aeneas, right? And people are hungry, and if you're shipwrecked, you need some meat, right?
Still not very much. Yeah, I was thinking like for a whole ship.
Well, I mean, you know. Why are y'all such haters?
No, I was wondering how they, like a ship in my mind is like.
I don't think it was like triremes of ships. Okay, I think it was like, yeah, like not as many people on these ships.
Still not very much food.
It says, Aeneas' hunting of the deer recalls Odysseus' actions on Circe's island, where he also climbs a cliff and kills a stag for his men.
It's all kind. It's such a mother bird thing to do. It's gonna like.
So basically, he's like, oh look, Aeneas is like Odysseus, but 7 times better.
Well, but he's more emotional. That's what it says here.
Wait, what?
So I can write like my essay that comes better because he's.
It says, C. Johnson, 1976, who analyzes the characteristic differences between this and the Homeric passage. The Homeric passage is based more on realism and the needs of the plot, and the Virgilian account, which is more impressionistic and more prone to describe the emotions. So you need to think about what is he feeling as he kills the deer to provide for his people. Okay, so we got, and meanwhile, Aeneas, right? What does he do? He climbs a rock. That's what he do. He climbs a rock.
Is that past tense?
He, I think it's present tense.
I'm missing like lines 180 through 180. Like that page.
Are y'all, is
Crazy girl.
everybody else missing those lines too?
No.
There's only one
Is yours do that?
floor.
What? Wait, how much your page? You're just skipping like 3 full lines. Like you just said houses.
Yeah. He searches all of the view. I guess you'd say he searches the whole view far and wide over the sea.
Where did the word over come
On the sea. What do you want to say? This is ablative.
from? Oh, okay. Just kidding. Let's go.
Wow, this is so interesting. Because scopulum is derived from a Greek word that originally meant a lookout place, there may be a wordplay in Virgil's use of this word.
But doesn't it mean rock?
Crazy.
Doesn't it mean rock?
It means rock. Okay. Okay, so this is accusative, okay? But it starts out this like, should would clause, right? A present, a future, less vivid, conditional, okay? Remember this is Ollie, because it comes after C, Nizzy, Numine, all the Ollies fall away. Okay, but you're going to start with the if. Okay, so you could say, if he should see, okay, so this is present subjunctive, right? Because it's in an if clause. So, if he should see anything of Antheus, which was one of his peeps, having been tossed by the wind, and literally it says Phrygian biremes. Okay, remember Phrygian, different name for Trojan. Okay, and biremes were like ships with two, like here's your ship. I don't know how to make a ship. Okay, here's your ship. Like with a prow on the front of it, right? And it had two things of, or 2 rows of oars. Okay, kind of anachronistic in this time period. They didn't have those, but hey, it fits the meter. Okay, so if he should see any Antheus having been tossed by the winds, and the Phrygian biremes, or Capes, or the weapons of Caicus on his high decks. So basically, the weapons on the high decks means that Caicus hung his weaponry like a shield on the ship for display. Okay, so he sees, right? No ship in sight. Damn. Okay. And then you got on the shore, you got to use he sees again. he sees three deer wandering. Okay, what does he do? Okay, then we got, I think these are nominative. The whole herd follows these. So it's like three deers in the front, right? And then like a whole bunch of deer in the back following them.
So like surrounding him.
Well, not surrounding him. He's like on this rock over here. Okay, a battle line. Say a long battle line. Grazes. We gotta say and a long battle line grazes from the back through the valleys.